This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We are here in another spot in the reloading zone of the gun shop. And tonight we're going to talk about some guns and calibers and what we like to use for big game here in Washington and around the country.
Yep.
And then also we are going to do the giveaway for episode 6 and 7.
Yep. So we have this lovely pair of Jim Green boots, which we're giving away. We're going to give away 2 pairs. And hopefully the people that we give them to are the correct sizes.
Does the shoe fit?
If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't fit and you win, then we will send you a T-shirt instead if it's not the right size boots. So, and then we'll re-give them away later. So,
numero uno.
Oh, you have them written down.
Chris has them written down.
What do we got?
Winner number 1. So you get to give us your shoe size first, and if the second winner has the same shoe size, well, tough shit.
We only got 10, 10 and a half, and 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
First come, first serve. Basis.
They came from South Africa, so it's not like we could just go to the closet and grab another pair.
Right.
Yeah.
Winner number 1 is Evergreen Backcountry.
All right.
Evergreen Backcountry.
And that's from episode 6.
Episode 6.
Episode
Congratulations. 6. Thank you for the people who are watching and commenting on the YouTube. I don't know if you guys enjoy the background, but James and Doug and I put a shit ton of effort into trying to make it look like not a complete dump because I'm not a clean person in the gun shop. And this
is a working zone.
Yeah, and it's like the ban is going on right now in Washington State. So we had 10 million people in here today. And so it did not look like this 2 hours ago.
Now we have it all nice and neat for you.
Yeah, so thank you for watching and commenting on YouTube. Winner number 2 is Will Christensen.
Will Christensen.
Will, send us your shoe size. Hopefully it's not the same as Evergreen Backcountry, but if it is, we will take care of you either way. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So what do we want to start out with here, Doug?
So we're going to do a little bit of gun talk since we're sitting here in the reloading room. People were also asking about what Chris is going to do for his spring hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is really
That's
exciting.
right.
So we put it out on the internets because that's where the people
are. It was
are.
in the last episode of the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have a plethora of firearms to take, as you know, as we're in the gun shop. And we had a few comments, but we had I don't know, not quite a metric shit ton, but a lot.
Yeah, there's
a lot. I had some funny DMs. I had some serious DMs, but the overwhelming winner was the gun that's sitting right behind James, which he's going to grab. So if you're watching on the YouTube, you get to see this first. And this
double barrel.
The double barrel
470
Nitro Express. And this thing is a stunner. It's fully engraved. It's got a beautiful walnut stock.
I'd feel pretty safe with one something like that.
Hold that for a second. I'm going to grab these bullets.
It is.
So, you got,
it's pretty impressive. Let's just put it that way.
Look at that, folks.
I don't know if you can see that, but
470 Nitro Express 500 grain bullet.
500 grain bullet.
It's basically like imagine a shotgun, right?
It's gonna look like you just put your fist right through the barrel when you shoot it. Probably.
I don't think it'll leave that big of a hole, but I think that the knockdown power is going to be immense.
Oh, there's going to be so much.
If you hit bone with that though.
Oh man, dude! If you aim right at the shoulder, that bear ain't going nowhere.
Dude, it's gonna fold.
It's gonna just
like a pair
of gonna fold
dirty
up
underwear.
Stem to stern, fellas.
It's gonna be going down.
I'm really excited. I bought this gun to go to Africa, and I'm not going till next year. So. I'm excited that you guys chose this. I'm not going to lie. I have not shot it yet. If you're on the internets, I want you to zoom in on that recoil pad. And,
there is none there.
There's not
put it that way.
There is no recoil pad. So I may put a little bit on there. We'll see. But shooting a 500 grain bullet,
just shoot it like a man.
Yeah, it's got
dislocate your shoulder.
It's got about 5,000 foot-pounds of
bear.
energy, and I'm super excited.
Dude, that's gonna be awesome.
On impact.
5,000 on impact.
Well, I'm not shooting at 10,000 yards, Doug. So
It's going to be like 30 yards or
Yeah.
40 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's gonna-
smart ass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be like 30, 40 yards.
Nice.
If it's going to be a gun talk, we're going to get real specific, Doug.
Real specific.
And you know, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. Yeah, really excited. Super excited.
I'm glad it was that gun because that was the gun I wanted you to take,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm pretty jazzed. So I'm bringing a.
I wouldn't feel bad about that right there.
No.
Not one bit.
It's awesome.
I may still bring the recurve bow and this. We'll see. Maybe I'll shoot like a coyote with a recurve, and then I'll shoot.
Yeah. Well, you
know,
you get a wolf tag.
You
too,
shoot
don't
a
you?
coyote
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I
See
gotta-
how much is left.
I do have a wolf tag, so we'll see. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm really excited though. So thank you for everyone that that contributed to my shoulder surgery here, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Are you going to shoot it before you go up there?
I should probably do that. Yeah, I should probably do that.
Make sure it's hitting where it's supposed to.
Yeah,
I mean, the sight's pretty straightforward, but
yeah. The old iron sights.
What are you going for? It's going to be, 30-yard shot probably? Somewhere in that
Probably
range?
it's not going to be far. Yeah,
Not far.
no.
Sitting
so
close.
you can shoot 2 bears, right?
Yeah, and good thing because I have 2 barrels.
2 barrels. So you can do 2 at one time?
Just get 2 7-foot bears coming at the same time.
Just line them up, Chris.
I could easily do it with that. I think.
Yeah.
I think the penetration is well. It's got an elephant on the front of the ammo box, so I don't know. You know,
Might be a little overkill, but
it might
Yeah,
be.
it's definitely overkill, but
But-
it's going to be cool.
What do I say? You can't kill something too much.
That's true. That's true.
That's fact.
I would be shocked if a bear runs off
after getting hit
after
by
getting
something
hit
like
by
that,
I would be completely shocked.
We're gonna find out.
We're going to find out for
We're gonna
sure.
find out.
that's a
And
tough,
this ties in.
tough ass bear. If it
I think
runs
this
off.
ties in
gosh,
nicely,
dude.
though. Like we have gun talk, right? And I
Yeah.
think we had some bullet questions,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Yeah.
And we have some other questions, and so there
Which
could,
all ties in together.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there could be an because people are like, there's probably some reloading guys right now like freaking out and like, oh yeah, a bear could totally run off, and it could, like it wouldn't even phase it if I shot it. Like there's 500 grain solids that I have in the shop as well, which I will not bring, right? Because that would just zip through, and I'm looking to expend all that kinetic energy into the bear, right? I don't want any pass through is basically lost energy, so
Right.
that ties into bullet selection. So, Doug, why don't you start us off with what you shoot, and what type of bullet you shoot, and why?
What kind of bullet I shoot? Well, I have a 30-06.
Love it.
Good old trusty 30-06.
Oh,
I shoot a 180 grain bullet,
God bless America.
and it puts the hammer down and everything. I shot a bear with it, a handful of deer, and I mean, I'm shooting the Hornady SSTs, the ballistic tips, and it puts the hammer down. I haven't had anything run off that I've hit with it.
Nice.
Pretty
So
much
is it-
dropped dead.
It's an expanding.
It's a
controlled expansion. Yeah.
ballistic tip. It goes in, and if it hits bone, it's going to be like a grenade went off in the
Oh, really?
cavity. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I like that. I like that, Doug.
does good damage. It's
Yeah.
worked for me.
For deer, for bear,
Yeah,
that's like a solid round.
it's a solid round.
180
for a 100
grain.
grain bullet. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could take anything down with that.
Yeah. I feel like 180 grain is pretty much
That's like the bare minimum. I would feel like for like
elk especially.
big game.
Yeah. I guess
Like-
you could get away with like 175 grain 28 nozzler. You know, like as
Well, yeah,
people
it's
know,
gonna
we
be
like
going
the
a
28
hell of a lot
nozzler.
faster too.
Yeah. But I think 180 grain is pretty much minimum for most 30 cals for elk. I'd say that's a pretty standard for bear. For deer, some people would say it's a little overkill, but
Yeah.
180 grain is about perfect
Yeah.
for just about everything. I think I've always shot 180 grain bullets for 308 for deer
Yeah,
and for bear.
yeah, that's pretty much all I've shot.
And I've killed elk with 180 grain 308.
Yeah,
As of just recently, Chris talked me into shooting a 300 Ultra Mag.
Oh yeah.
And so,
which I would love to get my hands on one of those.
yeah, it's a pretty cool round. I'm shooting those 200 and what are they? 230s,
230s.
230 burgers,
Yeah.
and yeah, they pretty much just blow up on impact. And
Yeah, don't go brush hunting with a burger bullet.
I learned my lesson about those bullets, trying to shoot through the brush, and
We tracked a bear for about a mile and a half.
yep, it just
And
all it did
realized
was shrapnel.
Yeah. I mean, it had a good blood trail for about a mile and a half, and all of a sudden it disappeared, and it was going straight uphill.
Yeah, and
were like, oh,
and then
boy.
it was gone. It wasn't even a lot of blood for that better half of it,
Yeah.
but yeah. And then I had a little conversation with Chris, and he's like, "Well, what kind of bullets were you shooting?" And I'm like, "Well, they were these Burger. I think they were 180 grain 308 Burgers."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, well, that's why, because they were, they're meant
It
to."
hit a leaf or a branch, and it exploded.
Yeah, there was a lot of brush in front of that bear.
Yeah.
And I've had plenty of luck shooting through brush and hitting bears, and
Yeah.
been fine. But I usually used to shoot like the nozzler partitions and stuff, and I still do. But depending on the circumstances, like I really do like those Burger bullets.
I think every bullet has a place, right?
Right.
So like when Mr. Nosler, like if anyone has ever heard the story, which I'm sure you have, like he shot a moose and his bullet came apart, which is basically what the Burgers are designed to do. That's how Nosler bullets were invented, right? And they're made for controlled expansion and weight retention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were hunting a place where it was like really thick brush and like say for instance there's a high probability of you hitting a branch, shooting like we shoot like those 230 Burgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are made to expend maximum energy and basically like they go in an animal 2 to 3 inches and all the energy is released, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of, I don't like a pass through, right? If I'm shooting a big, huge gun, I want all the energy to go into the animal, but it is dictated by the situation. So if I'm hunting
Right.
a super brushy area, shooting like
A burger bullet might not be the best.
yeah, it may not be the best because as soon as it hits something, it's going to start
Yeah.
expending that energy, right? Which means the bullet's going to come apart. So I've shot dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of animals with like the 210s, the 215s, and the 230s. And it's like the classic TV high shoulder shot. Like it goes in, dumps 4,000 foot-pounds of energy, literally,
There, and they collapse. Right
and
on
they collapse,
impact.
right? And it's great. And they're like a high BC bullet, so the ballistic coefficient is very high, which means it basically flies flatter, longer,
Yeah.
right? So how well does it buck the wind? How well does it just fly through the air? So you can imagine like if you had like you imagine like a fast jet, and then you imagine like a really old turbo prop plane with big rounded bulbous, like it doesn't fly through the air quite as well,
Right.
right? So most bullet manufacturers, I think, right now are like coming out with like high BC bullets. So, because long range is,
Yeah.
it's all the rage, right?
Yep.
But depending on your situation, maybe the highest BC bullet is not as important. Like for instance, that 470 Nitro Express, the BC on those bullets are dog shit, absolute hammered dog shit, terrible. You're shooting like if you can see the this is what I'm shooting right here. And I'm holding up my thumb right
Tip
now.
of your thumb.
The tip of my thumb, and I don't have very long, slender thumbs.
Yeah.
It's just like this big, stubby, disgusting hunk of meat sticking out of my hand. That's what that thing shoots. But it's made to. It's going to fly very straight. It's going to be very consistent. It's not going to go real fast, but it's going to have a lot of energy. It's a big, huge, heavy
500-grain bullet.
It's a 500-grain bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
But man, it's going to hammer.
yeah, it's very hard. I mean, it's going to be short distance, obviously, but it's very hard to have inconsistencies in that bullet as far as like your grouping is going to go, right? Because it can only go so far. Nothing's going to push it off. The wind's not going to push it off. Like the only thing is, trigger pull, recoil, nonsense like that. But back to the bullet selection, like Doug's shooting 180s, those SSTs are controlled expansion. That tip pushes into the bullet, it mushrooms out. It's very consistent. It releases most of the energy. It's probably going to have a pass-through, which is fine too, right? Like in an ideal world, you would have something that the bullet would always stay in the animal, right? Because
Right.
Yeah, if it doesn't hit bone, then it's probably going to go right through it.
yeah. And I think who had the comment? Someone had a comment about burgers zipping through or something like that. Who was that?
Talking about
Tim Galde. He was talking about it was a different. It
different
wasn't the
style
burgers that
burger
we're
bullet.
shooting.
The VLDs or
Yeah, the VLD.
So we have a bunch of, depending on what grain bullet. So in a 30 cal like Doug shoots, like 180 is that's the standard, that's the benchmark for all 30 cals basically. So some of the bigger bullets we're shooting, like the 210 VLDs, which I've taken to Africa. I've shot a bunch of stuff. I've shot stuff in North America with it. Very consistent. Very good bullet. So when you see the difference between hunting bullets and match bullets, like what we see that, like what's the difference, right? Well, a lot of it is the jacket of the bullet. So you'll have like the met plat, which is the tip of the bullet, and you'll see like it's, if you look at a burger real close, like that tip, that met plat is not flat. It's kind of like irregular, right? So what they do is you have basically like, imagine like this cup, right? And you put it in a machine, and it comes up around it, and it's open like this, and this is your copper, and it's got a lead slug that it drops in, and these are all precision weighed out, right? And then it goes into a die, and it just smashes it into a bullet. Like that's how they're made for burgers, right? Because they're not bonded or anything. So anyways, this cup can be thicker or thinner depending on what type of bullet you're going to shoot. So a match bullet will have a much thicker cup, right? And so
Copper cup.
a copper cup, yeah.
Yeah.
So it won't expand, right? So that's where some people will find that, like, that's why you don't shoot match bullets, because they're not going to expand, and they're just going to zip right through. So back to my releasing all of the energy point was, if you shoot something, it doesn't matter how big. You could shoot someone with a 50 cal, but if it's like a ball round, right, where it just zips through and it doesn't release any energy, like an animal, you could shoot an animal with a 50 cal and run off guaranteed, right? Because if it just zips through, it doesn't release any of that energy in the animal. It's basically like poking it with a rod. Like, yeah, it's gonna
big hole going through.
Yeah, depending on where you hit it, it's gonna die.
It'll
Yeah,
eventually die.
yeah, but it's not getting that hemorrhagic shock, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like getting hit by a car. Like you can hit an animal with a car, right? And it might run off, but inside,
It's gonna be messed up.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
liquefied. I mean, it's gonna die, right? It's bleeding inside. So that's like that shock that we're talking about. So if you have a bullet that will open up, create that shock wave, basically, making everything inside bleed, is going to die faster. So
Right.
Don't shoot match bullets, just because they're accurate.
Yeah.
I think like what Doug's shooting is great. Like James was talking about 175 nozzlers. And
AccuBonds.
the AccuBonds, the AccuBond long range, actually, the gray tips, not the white tips.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, we've shot
I
those.
shot Corlocks for a long time. They were a great bullet.
Oh, Corlocks are a great bullet. There's a bunch of good bullets. I think
Partitions.
I think it just
Tried and
depends
true,
on like what situation.
And what does your gun like too?
What is your gun
Right.
like? Yeah, because you shouldn't shoot a certain bullet like, oh yeah, like I shoot 210s and I shoot 215s and I shoot 230 burgers. You shouldn't shoot those if your gun hates them. Like I have a
Right.
gun that, like you're talking about, likes those 220 SSTs, and I'm like, I don't like that bullet as much, but
the gun likes it.
it shoots freaking one hole groups, man.
Yeah.
Like it is just bug holes all day.
Yeah, you're shooting
So-
a quarter at 100 yards, no problem.
Yeah, so
Tack driver.
yeah, so you can put the bullet where
When
it
your
needs to
gun's
be.
doing that, you don't want to really go away from that.
Right. What would you say to a guy that is just getting into hunting, and he wants, this is a question I get all the time, that's why I'm asking it. He wants the do-it-all gun and the do-it-all round.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Because there's a lot of guys that they can't afford to buy a bunch of guns,
Yeah.
and they want a hunting rifle, and they want something that can do it all.
Yeah.
What I already know what Doug's going to say.
I would say just a 30 cal in general.
Yeah, but let's say specific. Guy wants to know what he's going to the gun store, and he wants to know what gun is he like, what caliber.
Depends on how much money you got in your pocket.
I would recommend 110%, without a doubt, the absolute number one, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. 6'5" Creedmoor.
Oh, gee. Doug spit his drink out.
And he got
I
me.
love that.
Oh, I got
Now
the
lead
jokes.
us.
Wow,
I
he's
got
got
the
the jokes.
I got the jokes. I do have the jokes, man. Holy shit.
There's some 6.5 Creedmoor guys out there going, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like,
Psych.
I have a 6.5 Creedmoor. Like, I probably got a couple of them, but I also have like hundreds of guns. So, you know, am I gonna go shoot elk with that shit? No, hard pass. No way. Here's what I like.
That's a
Doug's
match
answer.
gun.
I like your answer of a 30 cal. I really like a 30 cal. There's two guns. There's two calibers that I really like right now. I'm a 300 Ultra Mag fan, and I really like 28 Nosler. I prefer a 30 cal. My 28 Nosler shoots lights out. Like, I can shoot like hand size groups at 1,000 yards with it. It's incredibly accurate. I'm shooting 195 grain bullets at 3,056 feet a second. It's 4,000 something foot-pounds of energy. It's a really good, powerful round. I do like that 30 cal though. I like shooting a 230 grain bullet. You know, it's a shit ton of energy. When I hit stuff with it, it falls down.
Yeah,
and I think that
it comes back to the confidence.
Yeah, and I do think that some people don't like. Some people are not going to like a 300 Ultra Mag because they won't like the recoil, or if you're a new shooter or a new hunter, like, don't go out and don't buy a 470 Nitro Express. Like,
you'll blow your shoulder off.
Yeah, like, don't get a 300 Ultra Mag, or don't get, like, I got a 375 Shytac sitting behind us too. Like, don't go get one of those if you're not comfortable with shooting. I think you should shoot whatever you're comfortable with, but you should also know the limitations of that round.
Yes.
Because if you're shooting a 143 grain bullet, it is not going to penetrate, and if you hit it not in the perfect spot, it's going to be fine, and it's going to run off, and eventually it'll die of infection or something terrible. Like, don't be that guy. I think everyone should shoot hammers. Doug and I have had this conversation about archery. He's like, you need to shoot a heavier bow and you need to shoot a heavier arrow, and Doug's 100% right. Like, you need to shoot as much as you can because it's going to inflict maximum damage.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
It's
Is
all about
like
the penetration.
Yeah, and if you don't, I think if you don't hunt that much and you've never wounded an animal or had to track an animal for miles,
Yeah.
and you've never had that gut feeling, like,
It doesn't feel very good.
it's
No.
freaking terrible.
yeah.
It's
It's
like
terrible.
one of the worst feelings.
It is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And then it hurts your confidence.
Oh, 100%.
Yep. It
And
can
then
throw you
it
into
can throw you
a
into a
loop
funk
for
real
a long
fast.
time.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of shooting as much as you can. I had this very in-depth conversation with one of my best friends on the internet, Adam Grenda, and he shoots a 338 Remington Ultra Magnum.
Which is a
That's
cool
what my
round
dad
too.
shoots.
It's super
Shoots a
cool. Yeah,
338.
it's super cool. By the way, I'm gonna build a 375 Ultra Magnum. So,
Ooh,
I'm not trying to one up you here, but
a 375
plus one to me.
Ultra Magnum.
gosh.
plus one to me, Adam.
Oh man.
And
How big a caliber are we going to shoot a bear with?
I know, a 470 Nitro.
470 Nitro.
470 Nitro.
I
That's
am-
the biggest one so far.
5 weeks, fellas. I'm shooting, and women. I'm shooting a bear with that, or I'm gonna shoot two bears.
Two
with
bears.
it. I'm gonna shoot
Nice.
two bears with it. I'm pretty excited.
I'm jacked. So you're going 28 Nosler, 300 Ultra.
I really
One
like
and
the
two.
300 Ultra. I like a 30 cal. I really do. I think we were actually just talking about one of the guns. So behind us, if you're watching on the tubes of view, we have the 470 Nitro Express. We also have one of the Skagit County SWAT sniper rifles that we built for a fantastic human being that's in for service. We were doing some work on his can and the rifle. We have the
That's a
375
308.
Shytac, but then we also have this gun just behind my right shoulder here, and it is a 300 PRC. And I also like the 300 PRC. I like a 30 cal round. It's like basically like a Win Mag, and it is the chamber is cut with a longer throat, so you can load the bullet out farther, which means you have a little bit more case capacity. It's not belted. I'm not a huge fan of a belted cartridge, even though I do like the Win Mag and I like the 7 Mag. But it's a great cartridge as well. So I think that if you don't like the recoil of an Ultra Mag, which I'm loading like, say on average, I'm probably loading like 95 grains of powder in there, right? And these are in the PRC, I think, is like in the 70s or something like that. So it's less recoil, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you can still, like, I think those are 208 grain
Is it
bullets.
a shorter casing? Is that what it is?
It's a smaller case, yeah, for sure. But the idea is, like when you look at them, it's kind of like the Creedmoor, right? The bullet is loaded way out.
Yeah.
So you have more case capacity, right? A lot of people like that. So you still get that long, that 3.85 mag.
It's hot.
It's hot, dude.
Turn them up.
Yeah.
Turn them up until your gun doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Or until something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here to go fast.
I would say, going back to the one do-it-all gun, if I think it would be circumstantial, right? So let's say...
I know what he's going to say already.
So,
I know
no, I'm not. I'm not going to do what you
I know
think.
what he's going to say.
Okay, maybe I know. I don't know. So if the guy, let's say it's just a normal guy, like he's maybe he only makes so much, he's living paycheck to paycheck. He's
Got a couple $100
right?
bucks.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have a bunch of money to go spend on a nice, fancy, flashy 300 Ultra or a 28 Nosler. What are we looking at next? As far as ammunition goes, some of those rounds, 300 Ultra and
Yeah.
28 Nosler, are very expensive no matter what you buy.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not available everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to look at that. What caliber is available?
Obviously, go
places.
to, I think, universally, a 30-06 you can't go wrong with.
Yeah.
Right?
There's tons of that ammo everywhere.
Elk, deer, that's not where you thought I was going.
No, I didn't.
But I say,
didn't. Yeah.
hold up.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Oh,
I'd say
definitely.
good old 308. Woo! Easy to get bullets for.
Easy.
Cheap to shoot as
Cheap to
far
shoot.
as
Oh,
like
yeah.
a rifle
Yeah.
goes. You can shoot up to 180 grain. In some cases, you could get a bigger bullet than that. But
Right.
180 grain is,
Yeah, it's about
is a
your
common
max.
round.
Yeah.
You know, you can go down, tone it down to a 150 if you're just deer hunting, but I would suggest a 180 all the
Yeah.
time. You
It's
know,
always nice having
there's
a little
always
bit more.
availability for ammunition. It's easy to shoot. It's cheap to shoot. And, you know, you can't go wrong. Now, if you're going to shoot a moose or something, you'd probably be more apt to use your 30-06 round.
Yeah.
I think
You
we
know,
should.
if that's
like,
all you got.
If we're talking
If that's
like
all you got,
lower
yes.
48, which moose is where that's an oil tag here, so
Right.
that's a once in a lifetime for you internet's peoples. And I feel like you're right on the money. Like a 30-06 is you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
308 get anywhere.
Yep.
I do feel like that if you can afford the ammo, like you should shoot more, right?
Right.
You know, we eat everything that we shoot. I don't know if they can see. Is there meat behind me right now?
It's out of camera frame, but there's a
Okay.
bunch of...
So I have like
bunch of pepperoni out
I have some bear bratwurst, and then I have some elk and antelope pepperoni sticks behind us. And so we eat obviously everything that we shoot. So like people talk about meat waste and this and that, and the thing is, if you're a shitty shot and you shoot a crap cartridge, you're not going to get the animal anyways. So you know,
You get out what you put in.
yeah.
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 And you can clean up bloodshot as long as you're not like, it's not just blowing the animal in half. Like,
Yeah, I mean, unless you're shooting a 470 Nitro Express stem to stern, you know,
30 feet.
yeah,
He ain't got nothing to
no,
worry
it's
about.
going to zip right through. It's going to hammer it. It's going to zip right through. It's not going to be a lot of meat.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun
It's
little
gonna be
experiment.
dead bear.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dead bear. And I don't know if you guys watched here a while back. James and I smoked some bear ribs on the Green Mountain Grill, and sweet mother of pearl, son of a
So good.
man, they were good.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, they were good, man. They
I
were.
missed out.
Holy shit, Doug.
Oh man, we went all out. We did bear ribs. What else we did? We did some red steg. We smoked red steg stuffed.
You guys are over
backstraps.
here having a smorgasbord, and I'm deep in the ditch laying shit pipe.
Doug lays shit pipe for a living, by the way, people. And he's damn good at it.
Not
you know?
always, okay? That's
He's-
just
I lay the pipe for a living.
what do you always
boys.
say? The jack of all trades,
Expert of none.
expert of none.
Oh, you're doing a good job, Doug.
I work hard.
You do work
I
hard.
try hard.
You know, we're all just regular fellas here, you know? We're just doing things and stuff. James was shoveling horse shit. I was slinging guns earlier. I'm tired as hell. You know. Speaking of, you want to talk about the gun ban? We want to talk about that yet? Or
Yeah,
keep
we
talking?
could jump into that and then jump back into other gun talk.
Just real quick on the gun
Since
ban.
we're on it right
so
now.
if you're watching on the YouTube, the reason I look like absolute hammered dog shit is because I've been working 20 hours a day in the gun shop because our Fuhrer, Air Inslee, is trying to push a gun ban through on basically all semi-auto rifles, a bunch of different semi-auto shotguns, and a lot of pistols too as well. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to affect the good citizens of Washington State, unfortunately. And the thing that gets me, and if you're listening to this and you think that like, oh, Chris, it's just common sense. It's good gun control. The problem is if you ban these guns, which is going to happen, it affects the people that obey the laws. And if you say, oh well, it'll save lives and mass shootings, I would say that all of these piece of shit dirtbags that shoot up schools and stuff are breaking the law. It's I don't know if you know this, but it's illegal to like shoot kids and be a total piece of shit and burn in hell for the rest of your horrible life. So it's not going to affect anything. It literally does nothing except irritate the shit out of me and cost me more money to hire more attorneys to sue all the dirtbags in our state. So everyone who is against this gun ban should donate to the Silent Majority. They should donate to
Sportsman's
Alliance, Gun Owners of America. So these are some of the people that are on the front lines trying to help us out. I do think that I think it'll go through. I think that it will get kicked back. I don't know why they keep doing this because it doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, Doug and James and myself are all pretty like common sense kind of guys. We follow the law, so we're not going to break the law. So when you put these laws into place, like, you know, like schools are soft targets, right? Because you can't have guns there.
Yeah.
If I was a
gun free
and if I was a total piece of shit weirdo, you know, person that was going to go shoot someplace, I would go someplace where there's no guns because there's no resistance, right? That's the easiest target. So that's a whole nother podcast. We're going to talk about that later. But long story short, the Washington 1240 bill is probably going to go through, and then we're going to have to fight it, and then it'll get kicked back because it's totally ridiculous. But if you're listening, most likely it has gone through already. If for some reason it gets bumped back, you should, wherever you're at in Washington State, you should go just support your local gun shop. Like, go to your little rinky-dink, like, mom and pop shop, spend some money. Even if you don't need it, just go buy some stuff. Like, they're going to get totally crushed by this bill.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of people, this is their only source of income, and they're just trying to, and they're just trying to be good people. They're not out there shooting up schools. It's only these dirtbag weirdos that are doing this. So, before I get too deep into that, we're gonna jump out of that. Support local. Sorry about the ban.
Hope we could do more.
God bless America.
Yeah. Look into some of those organizations. Donate where you can.
Do what you can.
Yeah.
I think that there's a good chance eventually this will end up turning back, but that's only if something changes here dramatically in the political
I mean, they've
systems.
been really weaselly about it too. You know, they've been doing it like right before the weekend or right like late at night or something like that. It's just like
right. Well, I mean, I didn't even see this as a news story on mainstream media until this last week when it was already almost passed, you know?
Yeah.
And then I saw it on like King 5 or something. And you know what the headline was like, assault weapon regulation going into effect soon. And I'm like, assault weapon regulation? You mean a ban of everything?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just assault weapons. That's the funniest part about it. It's like that's what they're labeling it as because that's where they can get the most momentum, right?
And
if you call it assault weapon, but there's shotguns, there's handguns, there's AR pistols. Here's
the thing that gets me, like the media, which is I don't watch the news, by the way. So if you're a reporter, you're probably a piece of shit. Go die. Fucking just terrible. They put these like. I have people come in the shop and we have this conversation. I've had a bunch of FUDs in here and they're like, oh yeah, we just need some common sense gun control and it's not bad and we need to ban this, we need to ban that. And I'm like, okay, well,
I disagree.
These mouth breathers, they're just and it's not really their fault because these are the type of people that go home and watch the news at night, right?
Yeah.
And people report the news and they talk about like the assault rifle, like the AR assault rifle. Number one, it doesn't stand for that. If you don't know that, shame on you. It's an Armalite rifle, and there's no such thing as an assault rifle. It's the dumbest shit in the whole world.
Yep.
It's,
any rifle is a assault rifle if you assault somebody with it.
Here's in
Whether what
It's
kind of
all a
action
label
it
that
is.
they're trying to use
Yeah.
and push.
and if we're gonna, I'm just gonna throw this out there real quick. So I
Go
just want to
for
stir
it.
shit up on the internet.
Let's just get it
If
going.
you say assault rifle and you think AR, you're the same person that thinks like a dude with a dick can go compete against girls and it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right either, because we have kids and I have a daughter. Woo! And if a dude's swimming in a pool and he's got a wiener and he wins, like, hey, good for you. You accomplished like
Nothing.
nothing.
Right. That's
My
funny. I
my
was
dad
just
told me to not punch
listening
women in
about
the
that
face, and that's what you're doing. You know, like good for you. I identify as a woman, so I'm gonna go punch this gal in the face. Like it's the same thing.
Right.
Like, you people suck. And anyone who thinks like a dude, anyways, I'm gonna get really, really fired up about this. Back to the guns.
Back to the gun.
30 cal, I think is a standard in North America for big game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking deer, we're talking elk, we're talking bear, right? Because those are what most people can
deer,
hunt.
elk, bear, and occasionally, maybe you hit the lottery and you draw like a moose tag or
Oh, sweet Jesus!
or a
Wouldn't that
sheep
be
tag
nice?
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's tie into that real quick. So it's season right now. It's tag season in Washington.
Yeah.
So
And the submittals are coming up.
Yep,
Yep.
submittals are coming up. So in Washington, you can put in for your standard big game, what we have in Washington is what we're talking about, deer, elk, and bear. But we have like we talk about oil tags, right? So once in a lifetime tags, which would be goat and
Rams.
Moose.
sweet mother of pearl. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So we all put in for that. We donate our money to the state every year. And we have not got.
Hopefully get a chance.
Yeah, and I haven't. I mean, I got 2 decades of points, which
Yep.
swing and a miss, right? And this is like across the
Look at
board,
the
by the
draw.
way,
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
across the board. So if you have not put in, focus on like something that you think you can draw. Don't just always swing for the fences too. Like I got some pro tips here. Like if you're putting in for deer and you put in for Inia every year, you will never get drawn.
Right.
You know,
Disappointment for all.
disappointment.
Don't keep putting in for desert every year either.
Just
Chris.
But I know that's me. That's totally me. Like you need to put in for, I think, for like an attainable tag. And some guys are like, oh, like my buddy got drawn for Inia, and he totally did. And it's like if you put in, so obviously the rifle tag is going to be the most sought after typically.
Right.
And then you have archery and muzzleloader tags as well. So depending on what you want to do, like if you can't shoot a bow or you can't shoot a muzzleloader, don't put in for it. I get it. It's fine. But just know that like the rifle tag is going to be super, super hard to draw. So I
Right.
think that like we're going to put in for some different tags this year. I got talked into it because I just found out that I didn't get drawn for Montana. So kick me in the balls. It's been a great week.
Dude, it's been a rough one.
So I'm really hoping, add that with the band. We're doing great right
Right.
now. I am going to try some different areas, I think. Like James has hunted some different areas. Doug has hunted some different areas. So I'm kind of relying on these guys.
I got a plan for us.
And we got plans. So talk with your buddies before you put in. If you can put in,
Have a plan.
have a plan. If you can find some place where you can put in with your buddies or your dad or
You know
like
what
your uncle.
I think is
or-
going to happen this year.
Oh, please tell me, James.
I think that me and you are going to put in, and we might get something, and we're going to talk Doug into putting in, and he doesn't have near as amount of points, and he's going to be the one to draw something really freaking cool, and we're going to be like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, right.
But I would be so jacked if
Doug's
even just one of us got a cool
Oh,
tag.
yeah.
I'm putting it out there right now. Doug's getting an oil tag this year.
Dude, it would be awesome.
That would be killer.
I bet you get a ram tag.
Dude,
That'd be sweet.
that would be so dope. So, I mean, Hartsock drew with like, I think it was either 5 or 6 points or something like that.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, he drew that Chelan tag.
Didn't he draw a goat tag too? With like,
No, that was someone else. He went on the goat hunt though
Oh.
with him, helped him.
Oh, the
And then
rifle that I got in my
It
safe
was like 2 years
still.
prior to that. He drew Little Natchez bull tag.
Really?
Yeah, with like 3 points or 4 points or something like that.
That lucky son of a bitch.
I know. I'm like, and we've drawn together two different times. We've drawn partnership spring bear tags up in the Northeast that were like really hard to draw spring bear tags.
Really?
Yeah. One time with like 3 points or 2 points or something, and then the other one was with like 1 point.
Classic heart sock.
But some people have a lot of luck.
Some people got the luck. Put in. Just put in. Either way, just put in.
Yeah.
People say, Chris, don't say that. You're going to reduce my odds. Shut up. No one cares.
No one cares. Ain't nobody getting drawn anyway.
Ain't nobody getting drawn anyways. Like, they're just taking them tags and burning them in the fire.
You miss every shot you don't take.
All the shitheads at the Fish and Game Commission.
I know.
Speaking of, I'm going to throw this out there. People that listen to this, all three of you, thank you, that think I knock on the Fish and Game a lot. It's just a very minute section. Like, there's a couple people on the Fish and Game Commission that I do not like. But there's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he said he would be on the podcast. He's a Fish and Game guy. Super solid guy.
Yeah.
Really good dude.
There are some good dudes out there, and not all of the Game Commission is bad either. Like,
no, there's some good people on the Game
Jim
Commission.
Anderson,
yeah,
he's on the Game Commission.
Yeah.
He was the only guy in the very beginning of the spring bear thing to start that got back to me through email, wrote out a personalized email, and gave me his personal cell phone number if I wanted to discuss things further with him and if I had any more questions, of course, which I did. And I called him and he answered his phone. We talked for about 30 minutes about what's going on. He answered all my questions and solid dude. He's on the Game Commission and he's constantly
Those are people
going
that
to combat.
we need.
Yeah, he's the guy that we need, and I sure hope that he doesn't, step down like a lot of these other people have because the heat got turned up. But he's
Sad.
staying
out.
solid.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
yeah. Jim Anderson.
Jim, why don't you comment on this if you're watching this, and we'll send you a T-shirt. Thanks so much.
Yeah, send
Thanks.
a T-shirt.
Thanks,
maybe,
Jim.
Maybe a bag of coffee.
If you know Jim, maybe send him
Yeah.
a message and be like, "Hey, free
brother up.
T-shirt. Thanks."
Yeah. Thanks for the hard work. Keep
Yeah.
fighting the good fight.
Yeah. I honestly, it would be super hard. Like, it would be really, really hard for me to be in that position to have to fight those horrible people.
Oh, dude, how could you imagine trying to keep your mouth contained
No.
in those
You gotta
situations?
keep the
Hard no.
professionalism,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it'd be extremely hard. There's no doubt about it.
I feel like I can control in most circumstances, but if you're there in person and you're having to deal with it on a daily over multiple issues, not just what
You're
we
gonna
see
crack at some point.
at some point, I think it does happen. I think these guys blow up every once in a while.
Oh,
And
I
I don't
would.
blame them one bit.
Here's the deal: when you're talking to someone with absolutely no sense, that has no right to be there, and they shouldn't be there, how could you not get upset? Like,
It's like having someone come into your gun shop and watch you build a gun and say, "You're doing that all wrong. You should be doing this.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be Cerakoting that. You should be using this rattle can spray paint. It's way better."
yeah,
It's
because
way cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking
I
about.
don't know what
Because
I'm doing.
they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you know what
Same
you should,
logic.
You should just shut this gun shop down because guns are bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're like. What would
That's-
happen?
yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds more like it.
Speaking of, shout out to my liberal tax accountant that I fired last year. You piece of shit. Told me to shut the gun shop down. Fucking hate that guy. Fired, by the way.
Fired.
Fired.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate that his whole crew. I hope
Just
We're getting Chris all fired up, guys.
I just want to randomly drop this because I thought this was a really good point that I saw on the internet the other day. It went like this: Cain killed Abel
Oh, I like this one.
with a rock,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
David killed Goliath with a rock.
With a rock.
It's not about
The person.
the person.
Or it's not
It's
not
about the
rock.
weapon. It's
Right.
about the person
Yeah.
wielding the weapon.
Sorry, I've been
Right.
up for like 20 hours. People.
I know you.
I'm running on
You almost
empty.
threw me off there.
I'm so excited. I heard
So-
that too, and I was like, man, that's a really
Exactly. Like, you can kill a person with a rock. You can kill a person with a baseball bat. You can kill a person with your fist if you don't have self-control or
Yeah.
if you accidentally hit someone too hard.
yeah.
It's not about whether or not a certain firearm is more capable of killing someone. It's about the intent behind it. That's the problem. Everyone knows it. People continue to ignore it. Our politicians continue to ignore it. Everybody continues to ignore the real problem, which is people are messed up.
People are messed up.
Yeah,
Here's the deal.
mental
like,
health is the problem for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's going to
100%.
continue to get worse.
Yeah.
And you take away all the guns in the world, and you got all these people running around with all these mental issues. They're going to grab a samurai sword or something and start doing some really horrific stuff. It's just, it's not
Grab
going to
an
help
axe or
anything.
something
Yeah.
and start
And
swinging
then
that
the
thing.
people that are being attacked won't have a way to defend themselves
oh,
from these
God.
crazy ass
Yeah,
people.
you're not supposed to defend yourself
Because we're the bad guys.
Yeah,
we're the
man,
bad
we
guys.
really went on a random jump of
just we're talking guns and we're talking all this stuff. It gets me
Yeah,
fired
that's why
up.
it's called gun talk.
Yeah, and it's gun talk, and it is, and it's to be completely honest, like we're just normal guys, right? We're normal guys. We have regular jobs. We work our asses off. Doug's been working fucking 1 million hours a week. Same as James. Same as me. I'm trying to give people guns before this ban goes into effect, and I'm, and we're all tired, and we're just sick of the shit.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
more,
I'm sick.
this is a perfect rant episode.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
100%.
I get sent 1 million messages a day by random people, and like, it's not only gun related. It's like Washington. It just did this thing to where like says like parents don't have any rights over them. If their kid wants a sex change or something like that, and I'm like,
You could strip
kids
away.
shouldn't have sex changes because they're kids. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give them guns. I don't let them drive. I don't let them do my taxes. You don't let kids make big decisions,
Especially over their bodies.
life-altering decisions. Yeah. The kids you're giving these sex changes to, if they make it to the age where they're in a retirement home, they're going to wake up one day and they're going to be freaking out. They'll be screaming, where's my wiener? Where's
Right.
my parts that I was born with? Because that's what you should have. And they don't. If I let my kid make decisions, she would eat ice cream for dinner every night, and she would be 400 pounds.
Yep.
It's because kids shouldn't make wise decisions. And the parents that are allowing this, shame on you. You guys are pieces of garbage. I don't care what you think. You have mental issues. That's 110% child abuse. You guys, it's just bad. It's really bad.
It's
really
terrible.
it's really sad that we're put in a situation like this to where we have to even have this conversation.
It's just such
having
it's just
a
an evil
conversation
thing.
is
It's just
just-
evil.
It's horrible. These are
Straight
young.
evil.
It's like you have a child is a beautiful blank canvas, and they get to build this beautiful self-image. You're
supposed to guide them,
and
not-
you're
Yes.
supposed to guide them, and you don't take them
Feed
and be
them
like,
false
oh well,
information.
Facebook says I should cut my kid's wiener off, so I'm going to do it, and that's
or like your kid thinks that because he's watched too much Netflix and weird stuff that's been
yeah,
shoved
because
down
you don't
their
have time to be a
throats.
parent, and like
Right.
we're all busy, but at the same time, like I think we're all blessed with great wives. Like it's fantastic that she can be there for my kid when I'm not there. But at the same time, like I'm there, and when I'm there, I am present, I am purposeful. I believe that, my child was made in a certain way,
And
and
you want to guide them in the right direction.
yeah, and I just want to be a good dad. Like I want to raise a good human being, and like the people that are like doing this to their children and pumping them full of drugs and altering their bodies and sexually mutilating these kids, like I think they all should be. They're disgusting pedophiles, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
I think they should all be locked up, and I think that eventually, like hopefully it happens in my lifetime, but past my lifetime, it will come back, and we'll look at history and go, "Holy shit! I can't believe we did that to the kids.
Right.
Like these people are sick."
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's just one of the other things that just passed. That's
Yeah,
why
so
we're
that passed in
talking-
Washington. This is why we're talking about it. So if you're not from Washington, like Google it. It's disgusting. It's really really
Right.
bad. It's 1,000 times worse than our gun ban. Like we know our gun ban is going to be turned over, right?
We hope.
It's the second thing we wrote in the Constitution.
Right.
First thing, run your mouth. Second thing, have a gun to back up when you run your mouth,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's it. And
What about the other law that was getting passed? It was the one where they can sue manufacturers, sales representatives.
they're pushing a bunch
Like,
of.
did that one pass as well, or has it not been?
Not yet.
passed?
No. But so what they're trying to do is like, so myself as a manufacturer, so the SWAT gun that is behind us, I build guns for not everyone. You need to be a good human being. It's my business. I have the right to turn you down if I think you're a piece of shit or you mutilate your children. So I'm not going to sell you a gun.
Just how it is.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm my own man. I'm sure I'm losing business over this, but I don't give a shit.
There's no tranny loving people that are
I hope not.
listening to this right now.
I hope
Hopefully.
not. If there is, shame on you.
Yeah, and if there is, then you should find another
You know.
podcast.
Yeah.
This
isn't for you.
Isn't for you.
don't. We don't mutilate children here. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
We build guns, though. We build really incredible guns, and so what they're trying to do in Washington is make manufacturers liable for anything that happens with that gun. So, like, say for instance, say I made forks for a living. Okay, sweet forks, so they're like titanium, super fast, high performance forks. And one of these 600-pound life, disgusting, obese people gets my fork, and they eat it, and they have a heart attack because they're fat, gross, 37,000 a calorie people in it. And there is, like...
Perfect analogy.
It's, so, like, and this person dies because they ate 67 pizzas in a day because they have no self-restraint, and apparently they have, I don't know, something's wrong with them, obviously, because you don't eat 67 pizzas a day. So you die. And the family comes in and they get a forklift and take this gross person out. And long story short, I get a letter in the mail from the attorney that says, "Hey, we're suing you because we found your titanium fork in the bedroom of this person because they could never leave the bedroom."
Oh man,
Where did you come up with this analogy?
My wife loves 600-pound. If you never watched 600-Pound Life, you should watch it because there's this little Indian doctor, and he's like, "You could lose 30 pounds," and I love that guy because I was a fat kid when I was younger. I weighed as much as I do now when I was 13, so that's a whole nother story. But anyways, I was fat as shit. It was really gross. Anyways. I feel like
I'm gonna name this podcast "Chris Talk."
Chris Talk, but the bill James was talking about is basically making me liable. So, say for instance, like the Ford Motor Company would be liable if a Ford got in an accident, and then the person,
somebody,
could get sue Ford because it was a Ford, right?
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and it's the same. It's par for the course with all the gun bills right now, is because none of them make sense, right? There's just these knee-jerk reaction, hard left maniacs just making stuff up, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make sense to sue someone over that, and I think they get so mad at just life and themselves in general that they just lash out about things that just are easy or they dislike, or
I think a lot of these people that are pushing this stuff through are just so brainwashed and have gone so deep down the rabbit hole of this alternate reality that they've created in their head, where they think that they can fix all these problems
by taking everything away,
by starting with law-abiding citizens, and maybe it's not even that at all. Maybe it has nothing to do with them trying to fix problems, and it's just a control issue.
I would think that
that's just what I think it is.
Look at history.
Like say for instance, like we hated all of us right here. We hated guns, horribly hated guns. Okay, how are we going to fix these like shootings? Like, because that's the hot ticket, right? Yeah. That's the hot button.
It's a weapon that they're using against people.
Yeah,
like
let's get rid of the guns because that'll take away the shootings, right? And that's a very like broad generalization, but I feel like it's quite
just
accurate.
An easy excuse.
Yeah, it's a very easy excuse. They don't do like when you wake up in the morning. Do you wake up early to work out, or you do like these ice bath things, or do you hard stuff? Like I have a real estate buddy who does it. He posted the other day about like he wakes up and he does these things because they're hard, right? And these people that like have these broad generalizations of like, I see a shooting, let's take away the guns because it's easy. It's not hard. They don't look at the facts, right? The facts are, in the last 44 months, over 1 million new guns have been sold every month. So 44 million guns in the last 44 months, right? I think if guns were the problem, we would know it.
Right.
100%.
That's in less than 4 years. People, think about that for a minute. In less than 4 years, 44 million new gun sales.
Right.
44 million.
Think about this
I'm not seeing
week
44
alone.
million mass shootings, that's for sure.
No, and like it would, if the problem were guns, we would know it because there's
millions of them out there.
Yeah. Oh, they say there's 400 million guns out there. There are so many more than 400 million guns. I guarantee you there's 1 billion guns out there. There's 1 billion guns,
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, James was talking about, it's not the gun like we were talking about the rock, right? If you're watching this on YouTube, look at Doug. Doug is a giant man. He could smash you to pieces if he wanted to. But here's the kicker. I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan, and he talks about like being a dangerous human being or man, right? But keep having it under control. Like that's why he has virtue and morality. And Doug's a great human being because he could smash the shit out of you, but he doesn't do it, right? So if you're soft and you're one of these whatever type of people that like go out and shoot up schools, show me a picture of every single one. None of them are giant, large, strong men who have done hard things in their life. Not a single one, right?
No,
not a single one. So
I think the last dozen of them were Democrats too.
oh God, Doug, it just gets me fired up. But
yeah, here we go.
I know I'm going to get down a rabbit hole. But back to the guns and back to the bullets. I really do feel like you should shoot as much gun as you can, as you're comfortable with. I think that you should very much pay attention to your bullet selection. If you guys do have questions on bullets, I think you should ask us. I think all of us have hunted enough to know that
probably shot a majority of the main bullets out there.
Yeah, so if you're and thank you for watching this on YouTube. If you look behind us, here, like the green stuff on top is just those are just empty cases because we do custom reloads for customers. But then you'll see a bunch of dies, and then below that whole thing, end to end, is bullets. Those are different types of bullets. So we have a massive bullet selection as far as like. You see a lot of burgers back there because I am a big burger fan.
Sizes, brands.
Yeah, sizes and the brands, but you'll see different types. Like you'll see some, we have a bunch of nozzlers, and we have different ballistic tips, and we have solids, and we have controlled expansion rounds. And like the burgers are, most of the burgers are the VLDs, so they are a rapid expansion round. So they're made for like a low brush, long distance type of shot. So I think that if you're in that type of scenario, I think that would be a good bullet for you. But if you do have specific questions, we have not covered 10,000% of what all of us
there.
Cumulatively know
Right.
as well, because I get sidetracked super easy, and it's in the middle of the night and we're in the gun shop and I've had a bourbon. But
It's just a lot to talk about.
it
There's
is a lot to talk
so
about.
much to hit
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. It depends on what type of
You know what I would like to talk about?
oh
Is this little thing right here?
some silencers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want
Let's
to talk
do
about?
some silencer talk.
You want to do some quick silencer talk?
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of intrigue behind that.
Yeah.
Sorry to drag the conversation in a different
That's
direction.
a good topic to talk about.
Cans,
because
not bands.
people-
That is the new
People
rage.
don't really understand what that thing really
They don't know what
does.
it entails, what the process is to acquire such an item.
Oh.
I really got excited when I saw that new Nozzler can that just came out,
Ooh,
the new
so-
30 cal one.
So we're gonna do some R&D on that, and I am
Dude, I'm so jacked on.
I am
that.
jacked up. John Nosler,
hot.
you.
That thing looks sweet, and it's
It-
super light.
It's
like
super
ridiculously
light. It's super light. It has really good stats so far. I have not done R&D on it. I have a bunch. I have something in the works with one of the SWAT guys about doing a prototype SWAT sniper rifle, ultralight.
Nice.
with one on it.
Yeah, and it's going to be the
boy.
She-I-It.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are an SOT, right? So what that means is, so I'm an FFL. I'm a manufacturer. I build guns here, but some manufacturers do not have their SOT, meaning they cannot do NFA items, which is a silencer. So silencer, suppressor, whatever you want to call it, same. You should have a can on every gun. So I've traveled abroad, and when you hunt in other countries, most of them have cans, right? They have silencers on their guns because it's
Very
quite
popular in Europe.
Yeah, it's very courteous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because guns are loud as shit, right?
Right.
So not only does
Less
it
disruption.
it's less noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's less recoil because it's a recoil reducing device as well. But I have them on a bunch of my guns, and they are. Once you shoot any gun, it doesn't matter. Like, and we're not talking about subsonic rounds. We're not talking about like whatever you shoot.
Right.
it doesn't matter. It really does not matter because it will reduce recoil and it will reduce sound on all your guns, right?
Right.
So Nosler just came out with a new can. I'm really excited about it. I just got some of their muzzle brakes. So anyways, it's going to be so you can have a muzzle brake on your can or on your gun and then have a can fit over the top of your muzzle brake as well. So because some people don't want that extra length, right? So say an average 30 cal can's 7 to 8 inches long. Like you don't want that extra length hanging off, right? So these will go over the top of your existing Nosler muzzle brake, right? Which I'm really excited about. And then I'm the world's salesman because I have my own line of muzzle brakes, which do not work for this, right? But it's a really good system. Whoever designed it at Nosler, like kudos to you guys because it's the bee's knees.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, just based on the stats, it looks really, really, really good. The decibel reduction, again, these are just stats I'm reading, looks really, really good. And I feel like if you haven't shot with a silence suppressor, you should find someone that has one, and you should shoot the gun with it and without it, to get your own, idea of like, hey, maybe I like this, maybe I don't.
It's incredible the difference on it.
I freaking love it, man. So if you do want a can, we do sell them here. It is a long process. I'm not going to lie. ATF forms came out originally at the beginning of this year, and they said 90 days. It is a government-run business. The government does not know how to run a business. They never have. Look at any business the government runs.
Money.
Yep.
Yeah, they're shit. They're all shit. And that's a fact. That's a factual statement. If anyone can prove me wrong, please do, because
You'll blow me away.
yeah, you'll blow me right. I look at the post office. I am right. You are wrong. Okay. But we're back to like 10 months. We went from 90 days to 10 months.
Oh, jeez.
And
It's hard.
it's a mess.
It's hard.
It's a total mess. Like, it's just a freaking mess. Anyways,
But if you
you
get
should
it-
still buy a can. It's worth the wait. Long story short, should you buy one? No, you should buy multiple. I like having dedicated cans on certain types of guns, 22 long rifles especially, like on pistols and rifles. You can get different types of muzzle brakes like Nosler's coming out with. Like you can buy a 30 cal can. You could swap your can from gun to gun, depending on what you want. I don't think a single person in the history of the world has ever... I honestly don't think that like I've ever had anyone come back and be like, "Oh, Chris,
I wish I wouldn't have bought a can.
I wish I wouldn't have bought that fourth can,
Yeah.
or that
Fourth
second can,
Not just the first one.
or
fourth
the
one.
100th." Like no one has ever said that ever.
No.
No, because they are awesome.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Like I said, it's
Just for your hearing protection alone. Like,
yeah.
Like, as I've gotten older, like now I worry about that stuff because I don't like my ears ringing for 2 days after I shoot something with a 300 Ultraman.
Yeah, how many times you guys been sitting there and all of a sudden it goes
All the time, dude. It happens to me.
All
It's
the
happened to me
time.
like 10 minutes ago.
yeah.
I'm just sitting here and I'm just like,
Yeah, hearing's definitely important in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that comes from me blasting, 35 rounds of duck rounds in a day,
Right.
sky blasting at birds or whatever,
Right.
and
No, I
not
think-
wearing hearing protection.
No, I'm a big fan of cans. I think you should do that. I'm a big fan of back to the rifles, shooting as much gun as you can. I think if you guys have questions on bullet selection, you should drop a comment in there. We do like we're in the gun shop. I do custom load development for customers, and I will ask them, Doug, where are you going? What are you shooting? James, where are you going? What are you shooting? Because it does matter.
Yes. 100%.
You know, if you want to shoot, like say for instance, if I had a customer going to South Africa, like hopefully Doug's gonna go. We'll see. We're gonna talk his wife into that.
Doug,
James,
just
go-
get another
so-
credit card. You'll
yeah.
be
Oh,
all right.
shit. All right.
So we're gonna go, and James would really like to shoot a Cape Buffalo. Would I recommend shooting a burger into Cape Buffalo? Shit, no. Hard, no. You need penetration. A burger's not made for penetration, right? Now, don't get me wrong. If you had the perfect angle and the perfect situation and this and that, would it go in and would it kill? Yeah, probably. But they're a big, heavy-boned animal, right? And they're not made for like breaking bone. They're made for going in and
Right.
so
Expanding.
yeah. So it would be a different style of bullet, most likely, unless I'm shooting like a 338 Lapua or I'm shooting that 375 Chi-Tac. Like, would I shoot if they had a bullet that would accommodate that? Would I shoot it? Yeah, maybe. You know, if I had enough horsepower and I had enough grains behind there, then I would.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a very specific, like we talked about, the all-around gun. You got to get in the minutia of it and like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I need, and I think that
you gotta start.
This is where you got to start. Yeah. So I think if you're starting out brand new, I think you should definitely take that 308, that 30-06, the general ammunition, whatever you
What
can
you
get.
can get your hands on.
Yeah, what you can get your hands on, you know, and just get out in the field. I don't think you need $1 million to start. And honestly, when I started, I didn't have any of this. Like I had crap, right? So I just got started, and that's the biggest thing. It's like take that first step, get started. But as you get into it, and if you want to be more proficient, then that's when you need to start asking the more important questions of, hey, I'm going to go hunt elk in Colorado, or I'm hunting black bear in Alberta, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and my shot is this far, my shot is this far. Like, that's when you start figuring out, like, hey, yes, I should be shooting an AccuBond.
And these are variables that probably a lot of people that are new aren't going to really think about.
No, they're just going to think about, I'm going to buy a gun.
Yeah. Oh, this will
buy
work.
some ammo.
I'll just take this out in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the stupid
And you'll
stuff
just
we all
learn the
did
hard.
when we
You'll
were
just
younger.
learn the hard way.
Yeah,
You know.
and when the critter runs off, and you're like, "Oh shit!" On the TV, they just fall down.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. What happened here?
I don't know what happened.
They said this is the perfect load.
Yeah, they said 6.5 Creedmoor would kill anything.
Yeah. 6.5 Creedmoor.
6.5 Creedmoor, I put it right on the shoulder.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Squeeze off. Nothing happened. It just ran off.
Just jokes, guys. Come on, calm down.
Yeah.
We're just having
Unless,
fun here.
If any of you guys have a 6.5 Creedmoor horror story, we'd like to hear about it. Leave a comment.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
Leave a comment.
6.5 Creedmoor stories are the best.
Yeah.
Almost as good as archery stories.
If you have a success story and you're talking about how great it is, just don't leave a comment.
Oh man.
To be fair, I am building some sweet ass 6.5 PRCs right now.
Woo! So what's the difference between the 6.5 Creedmoor
Isn't
and
there
6.5 PRC?
3 6.5 rounds that are out now? You
Oh,
got
there's
the-
way more now. There's
6.5
bunches.
PRC is a little bit heavier,
It's more horsepower,
more horsepower,
bigger cartridge. Like so,
It's like the Western.
so I would
6.0 Western, right?
I would compare like a 300 Win Mag to a 300 Ultra Mag, right? So it's just a bigger case, more horsepower, right? Same bullet, right? Any 6.5's all the same bullet, right? So same diameter bullet. You can shoot different grain bullets, but but your case size and your case shape, right? The case shape matters as well.
Great coyote gun, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you let
100%.
you let it rip, tater chip. So no, there's a lot of guys who've had massive success with 6mm and 6.5s and all that stuff. I like to give those guys shit because I get fired up about it. But
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I really don't care what people use. In all seriousness, like, you want to use a 6.5, go for it.
all the guys that shoot 338s give me shit, like Adam, Grenda. By the way, if you don't follow him on the old Instagrams, that guy's freaking hilarious.
It's awesome.
Super funny guy. But if you shoot something in, I think the lower 48, right? Like I said, we're mostly elk, deer, and bear, right?
Yeah.
I think that a general 30 round or 30 cal round is pretty.
Standard.
Yeah, I think it's pretty standard. Like a 30 cal 180, good bullet. If you're gonna be like, it's not too brushy where we hunt in Eastern Washington. If you're hunting Western Washington, maybe you want a bullet that will stay together a little better. Maybe if you, I haven't hunted the East Coast that much, so maybe like you need a round that's 60 like a Nosler partition, or you need like a core locked, or you need something that like
something that's gonna stay together.
yeah, if it's gonna hit a branch and keep going, won't
Still
deflect,
keep it
blow
shape.
up. Yeah,
Right.
but we have a ton of bullets here, and honestly, to be completely honest, I could like talk bullets for a long time because I like getting in the nitty
Keep
gritty.
going on and on and on.
Yeah, but in general, shoot what you can manage. If you can shoot a 30 cal, shoot a 30 cal. Again, like I said, I love 28 Noslers. It's just a hot 7 mag, beltless, 7 mags belted. I'm not a big fan of belted cartridges, but that's to get into the weeds again, in the reloading stuff. So if you're watching this on the YouTubes again, feel free to zoom in on all this good shit I got behind us because it's the bee's knees. I'm not gonna lie, like
For reloading, like,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
you could be mass producing ammunition if you wanted.
yeah, we do. Yeah, I bought a reloading company for all this stuff. So yeah. But wrap her up, Doug.
All right, well, we're going to wrap her up. We'd like to thank our sponsors once again. Black Rifle Coffee, Montana Knife Company, and Loophole. Great products. We love all their stuff. And once again, stay humble and hunt hard.